Hi everyone, Nicole Spohr here today for Spellbinders, and I am sharing two foiled rainbow cards that also feature, one of the cards features some foiling with dies. So just very bright, colorful rainbows are always a good idea in my opinion. This is the Spellbinders September Glimmer of the month, so we're at the very end of the month. I didn't get this video up earlier, so you really just have a few hours left to pick this up if you want to join the club. Otherwise, if it's still available, the glimmer plates will be available, and the glimmer plates and dies will be available for individual purchase later on if they still have stock in this. So I am going to go ahead and foil the Rays of the Rainbow from Rainbow Foil. If you already are a member of the Glimmer of the Month, or you're picking this up before October 1st, and you can still get in on this deal, the rainbow foil comes with the kit. So super good. I have so many rolls of this rainbow foil because I don't ever want to run out. It is my absolute favorite. Something I'm doing a little different here today is I'm trimming it apart, and I was really thoughtful in my glimmering with it, meaning I want a little bit of an ombre effect or that rainbow effect in my rays, but I mostly want to kind of stick to tone on tone. So you'll notice when I foil the pink ray, it's going to be more of the pinks and reds. The yellow ray is going to be yellows and greens. Green, I tried to stick really in the green, and then the blue into the blue part of the foil. So I'm really being very conscious of that. I will tell you, I used a much lighter color of pink cardstock than what I ended up with. When I laid out the elements for my card, I really didn't like the light pink, so I foiled Watermelon Fusion Fun Stampers Journey instead of the bubble gum that I am showing you here. I just want to mention that in case you wonder where that light pink cardstock goes. So that is what I did different for that ray, but the foiling is so super easy. Now the thing about die cutting these is that they die cut from one single die, so you will have some waste. That doesn't really bother me. It's pretty minimal waste, but I do want to make mention of that. Also, let's say you don't want to, die cut each of these rays, or foil all these rays rather from different colors. You're going to do all one color. I would still highly suggest spacing them out. It's much easier to line up than trying to figure out the lining up of the foil plates inside of the rainbow. Just from my perspective, I found that easier to just have them far apart from each other. They look so pretty when foiled. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but once we get these all die cut, they are so super cute. Now these cards, while they have quite a bit of detail to them, they've got a lot of foiling, some die cutting, and of course embossed backgrounds to really add to the interest of this. They are very quick and easy. So this one features the I Heart embossing folder, and I'm going to show you a couple different ways to foil on the embossing and how well it works. So I embossed this panel of pool play Fun Stampers Journey cardstock that's been trimmed to 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and I embossed it first with the I Heart embossing folder. I'm going to foil on top of that. So again, really being aware of what colors I'm foiling. I've laid this out on my card, and I'm going to go ahead and foil that kind of rainbow ray that reads "Follow Your Rainbow." In fact, I do want to quickly mention everything but the frame and the tiny cloud that I'm using are from the Glimmer of the Month. The frame and tiny cloud are from the card kit of the month. I love mixing and matching when possible. Now you can choose to fill in your rainbow, like die cut the frame that we use to die cut each ray. You can die cut that from a contrasting color of cardstock and fill it in. I'm actually going to use my extra here as a guide. I thought at first that I would use it. That's why I went ahead and die cut it from white, but I'm not going to. Here is a special little tip that I really have been dying to show you guys. You can foil with dies. You kind of have to play around with it to see what works, but I was super anxious to see if the frame from the card kit of the month for September, the card kit is called Whimsical Forest. I love this kit. I have another video. I'll link to it at the end of this one if you want to see 10 cards made with the card kit. But look how pretty it foils. So I foiled it instead of die cutting, and it's going to give you this beautiful, detailed, foiled frame that I really thought would be so super cute to frame up one of our rainbows. Now this is an example of, we're going to emboss after we've done all of our foiling. So remember, we embossed and then foiled. This time I did it the opposite, and the only reason why is because with foiling that frame, I was a little nervous because it's so much of a finer line than you generally get with a glimmer plate that it might not foil well over the embossing. And I'm glad I did it that way, but you're going to see that when we emboss with the big dots over it, it's going to turn out just as amazing. What I love about embossing folders, and Fun Stamper's Journey has some incredible ones, is that they add some interest to the background without overwhelming the design. I love that. These are super cute cards, but the added interest of some texture in the background is so, so pretty. I did end up having a bit of overfoiling when I foiled over the Rainbow for You from the Glimmer of the Month there underneath my frame. So I'm erasing that with a sand eraser. And then I had gone ahead and foiled 2 sets of rainbow rays, and I die cut a bunch of clouds off camera from both a pearlized kind of white cardstock and a white glitter cardstock that I can use for my 2 cards. Let's take our panel with our foiled frame, run it through our embossing folder, and there is the big dots texture in the background of this card. I'm going to go ahead then and kind of hold down my rainbow frame in place while I position some foam adhesive in each of these rays. You can do this 2 ways as well, and I'm going to show you both. I actually think it worked better the second time. When you're working with these thin foam adhesive strips and you want them to curve, I use them all the time when I'm attaching something that curves. I take the backing paper off. It's not going to curve if you don't. So you're going to have your fingers in it a little. I try to keep my fingers out of it as much as possible. But for this one, I'm putting the foam adhesive on the card inside of the framework and then adding the ray on top. On my second card, I actually put it on the back of the rays and placed them inside of the frame, and I think that worked better. I wanted to show both ways just to, you can pick whatever works best for you. So I'm kind of carefully peeling the frame away then, and we're left with perfect placement for our rays. So it really works as a nice little template. Now we are going to add our clouds. This cloud with the flat bottom actually comes in the Glimmer of the Month. The small one, the small cloud rather, comes from the card kit of the month. And what works so fantastic here is that I really felt like they went together. I love little happy accidents like that. I love mixing and matching. I'm a big fan of all of the monthly kits from Spellbinders, and so when I can mix and match them, I am especially happy because I'm a mix and match kind of gal. I love being able to pull from my stash and use it with something new, whatever kind of card I'm making. And if you guys follow me, you have probably noticed that, and I do talk about it quite a bit, trying to find new uses for things you maybe already have, or mix them in with new products that you've picked up. These rainbow clouds, I could see making a ton of these. I love a good rainbow. I always love a good rainbow, whether it's an actual rainbow like we're doing today, or we're using rainbow colors with coloring or cardstock or whatever the case may be. I played around with some different heart accents for my design here, just trying to kind of figure out exactly what I want to do. And I'm doing, of course, the frame card first. We're just going to glue some of these little heart accents down in place. These are some Little Things Pool Hearts droplets. So they're like little kind of translucent blue droplets. I did not want them to overwhelm the rainbow. So ultimately my color choice for heart accents was determined by texture rather than color. So much because I want them to just kind of look like little rain droplets maybe coming down from the cloud, especially for the second card. Here is the second card where I was talking about I'm adding the foam adhesive to the rays and then placing them inside of the template. I taped the template down on my second card, and I have to say this worked a lot better, a lot easier. We're just going to temporarily tape it down with a little Post-it tape. I'm placing the foam adhesive on the back of the rays. I don't think it matters whether you add it to the template or to the rays themselves. Either way worked great. I just think temporarily taping down that template so it wasn't shifting so much was one of my better ideas, and I wish I'd done it for the first card. But aren't those rays so stinking cute? I just love them. Bright and happy and fun. We're going to go ahead and then peel off our Post-it tape, and we can discard our template or save it for another card in the future. I really do think I like the rainbows without the outline a little bit better, but you know, with the right card, I'm sure the outline is cute as well. Now we're going to add all of our little clouds again. Very similar to the last cloud, except this one doesn't have a frame. And because of that, I'm filling in a lot of the upper area with additional clouds. I did die cut a few extra just so that I would have more up there up high. And then in addition, we have the Have a Colorful Day sentiment that I foiled on Tin Pail Fun Stampers Journey cardstock and die cut with a border from the Holiday Sentiments Series 2 Glimmer Plate Collection. Real quick, I'm going to hit on that. I only used the border die from that. I didn't use any sentiments or anything, but the border die, I have been asked by so many people who use a lot of the Glimmer Plate greetings, especially the strips, what die I've been using to get the more narrow strip, because a lot of their strips are a little bit wider. This one from the Holiday Sentiments Series 2, and I am linking that into the supplies below, is thinner. I love it. It works fantastic. Doesn't give you as much, space around your die cut, which I absolutely love. Works like a charm. Now, if you want to get your sentiment strip lined up perfectly, I highly recommend a T-square ruler. It can be your best friend so that you don't have wonky sentiment strips. Look how fun that is. So part of our sentiment is foiled right on that embossed background. Part of it's on a sentiment strip. And then we're going to fill in with some cute little clouds. Everything popped up with foam adhesive. And then this one especially, even more so than the first card or the other card I did, we're going to add a lot of these little blue clear droplets coming down from the clouds like little raindrops. And that is really just going to finish up this design perfectly. I am using a little Ranger Multi-Matte Medium. I have a fine tip applicator on this bottle. Those supplies are both linked in the supply list here on YouTube and on my blog. I know I get asked a lot about the fine tip applicator. This applicator is my favorite one. There's probably other ones out there now. I've been using this one for several years and it just doesn't get clogged, which is awesome. It does have a little needle that goes down into the bottle, which helps keep it unclogged, but I really just think it's phenomenal. I switch it from bottle to bottle. I go through a lot of liquid glue. We're just snipping off any excess of clouds hanging off the edges now, and then we're going to place these on white top fold card bases to finish up our rainbow foiled cards. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these foiled rainbow cards, also featuring foiling with dies. The supplies I used to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here is another video featuring Spellbinders club kits that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.